Have you ever stopped and wondered what's really going on inside your head when you meditate? It's so much more than just feeling calm. See, deep inside your brain, something pretty remarkable is happening, a transformation that's changing its very structure and chemistry. So, the big question is meditation just a nice way to relax, or is there something deeper going on? Well, science is now showing us that it's actually a powerful tool for physically reshaping the brain itself. Okay, let's dive in and see exactly how that works. But before we can get into how meditation rewires your brain, we need to talk about one of the most important ideas in all of modern neuroscience. And that idea is called neuroplasticity. Now, that might sound like a complicated word, but the concept is actually pretty simple. Think of your brain not as a fixed piece of hardware, but more like a muscle. The more you work out specific parts of it through a focused practice, like meditation, the stronger and more connected those parts become. You know, for the longest time, the belief was that our brains were pretty much set in stone after childhood. But we now know that's not true at all. Our brains are constantly adapting, all the time. And this exact ability to change is the secret behind meditation's lasting impact. So how does this rewiring actually happen? Let's zoom in on 3 key areas of the brain's architecture and see how meditation physically rebuilds them piece by piece. First up is the prefrontal cortex. You can basically think of this as the CEO of your brain. It's in charge of all the high-level stuff, like making decisions, having self-control, and thinking through complex problems. It's what helps you make a rational choice instead of just reacting on impulse. And here's what's so fascinating. Meditation literally builds a bigger, stronger prefrontal cortex. Every single time you sit down to meditate, notice your mind has wandered, and then gently bring your focus back, you're basically doing a bicep curl for this part of your brain. And studies show this practice increases gray matter and strengthens the circuits for attention, which gives you a much better ability to focus and manage your impulses. And get this, research from Dr. Sarah Lazar found that meditation might actually slow down the natural thinning of the cortex that happens as we age. A 50-year-old meditator could have the prefrontal cortex of a 25-year-old. I mean, that's just incredible. Okay, now let's talk about the amygdala. This is your brain's internal alarm system. It's that ancient, reactive part that triggers the fight or flight response, fear, and stress. So while meditation is building up the prefrontal cortex, it's doing the exact opposite to the amygdala. It actually shrinks it. By learning to just observe your feelings without immediately reacting, you're essentially training your alarm system that not every little thing is a major threat. And researchers have seen the gray matter density in this fear center decrease after just 8 weeks of practice. This leads to a less reactive, more emotionally stable state. Next up is the hippocampus. This is a critical hub for learning, for forming memories, and even for regulating our emotions. It helps you create new memories and put them into context with what you already know. And just like with the prefrontal cortex, meditation triggers growth here too. People who meditate show increased gray matter and larger surfaces in the hippocampus. The really crucial takeaway here is that this physical change is directly linked to real-world benefits, like a better memory, learning new things more easily, and even reducing symptoms of depression. So, we've seen how the physical structures of the brain can change, but meditation also alters the very chemical soup that runs our brain and body. Let's take a look at how it builds a completely different internal environment. The chemical effects are profound. Regular practice brings down your levels of cortisol. That's the main stress hormone. At the same time, it boosts serotonin, which is absolutely crucial for your mood, and melatonin, which helps keep your sleep cycle on track. It's pretty much a complete chemical makeover for well-being. But these chemical changes don't just stay in the brain. They create this powerful ripple effect that directly connects our mental state to the health of our entire body. You can see a really clear chain reaction here. The mental practice of meditation leads to lower stress hormones, like cortisol. This, in turn, reduces markers for chronic inflammation in the body, which then frees up and boosts critical immune cells, making you more resilient to getting sick. So we've covered the brain's structure, its chemistry, and the body's immune system. But let's bring this all together. What do these changes actually mean for how we perform in our daily lives? What are the tangible, real-world benefits of having a brain that's been rewired by meditation? Well, a really fascinating study on mindfulness in the U.S. Army gives us some answers. The research suggests that these brain changes translate directly into better performance. We're talking about improvements in attention to detail, better coping strategies when you're under pressure, and even higher morale and a greater sense of social connection within teams. And maybe the most amazing part? The brain's response is immediate. Research from Mount Sinai shows that measurable changes in the brainwaves associated with memory and emotion can happen after just one session, even in people who have never meditated before in their lives. Which leaves us with a final, really powerful question to think about. If just one brief session can begin to alter your brain's activity, what kind of resilient, focused, and powerful mind could be built over a lifetime of consistent practice?